Hello everyone and welcome back to another episode of the Everton Director of Football Career Mode. This is episode number 2 and today we're going to be doing the second half of the first season. We're going to be starting with a pre-contract signing today, but first let's take a look at the table. As you can see, we're in a nice 7th position. This Everton team is definitely exceeding my expectations thus far. Now let's move on to some of the stats of the players in the squad hub. Now it's no surprise who's our top scorer, it's of course the Portuguese man up front, Beto. Jack Harrison and Danjuma also have some good stats, and it seems like Mopé is also doing quite decently out on loan. I'll move through this list so you can see all of the player stats here, and then we'll move on to the first piece of business of today. To start things off with today, we get an offer for James Tarkowski. 12.7 million from Tottenham. We decide not to take it though, as he's integral to our plans. This immediately leads me into the first and only pre-contract signing of today. Eric Dyer from Tottenham Hotspurs. I saw his contract was running out and I thought he could be a good backup player for us, so I went in to see if he would be interested in joining. After simulating a few days ahead, we finally get Dyer's answer, and he seems to be very interested in joining. And thus, we accept the deal, bringing him in on 60k a week. We also had an offer for Idrissa Gueye, which we also accept. However, this offer would eventually fall through, leaving Idrissa Gueye with us for the rest of the season. Moving on, I want to highlight just how many bids we've had for Jared Branthwaite, another 7.9 bid coming in this time. But we've rejected all of them as he's part of our project and plans for the future. Moving into the last hour of the transfer deadline day, and we get an offer for Jordan Pickford. It's from West Ham. Even if we wanted to accept it, we wouldn't have time since it's the last hour, but we didn't anyway, so we rejected just for good measure to show Pickford that we're committed to him. We also get a notification that Idrissa Gueye is not moving to Ajax unfortunately, and it'll leave him and Everton for the rest of the season. I then decide to go through some of the top transfers that happened in the January transfer window, especially because we disabled the first window. There's been some huge deals happening around the world to be fair. PSG making a lot of moves. Unfortunately, we are not included in here because our moves were not that big and we didn't have that much money to spend. Especially on deadline day, we had like less than $1 million left in the budget.
You're broke! You're fucking poor!
We go down the list a bit more and we see that some very interesting transfers have happened. Chelsea has made a lot of moves, as well as Man United, bringing in a couple of strikers. PSG selling Kimpembe, and Moreno going to Inter was also a pretty interesting one. One of the most surprising transfers to me was Mitoma going from Brighton to Marseille. He's obviously one of their most interesting prospects right now, and I was quite surprised to see him go to Ligue 1. After the transfer window is done though, we'll head into the first tactical view game of today. It's Everton v Crystal Palace. The lineup is pretty much unchanged except for Yunus Musa coming in, making his debut, as well as Chris Smalling making his debut at left centre back. Into the first game of today though. The first highlight would technically be for us, though it wouldn't be a positive one. Smalling makes a quite hard challenge on one of the Crystal Palace players and he gets a straight red. I thought it would have been a yellow with a stern talking to, but the ref clearly had other ideas.
Oh, bang, see you later, you go in prison. You go in prison and you're getting named and shamed.
Dyche was pretty concerned by getting a red card in the 16th minute of the game at 0-0 though, and he thought that today would be a very tough day. So he went on to make a substitution to shore up the defense and make sure we wouldn't concede a lot. The next chance would predictably be for Crystal Palace. They had some good passing play after a counter-attack from theirs, and they would slot it home quite nicely into the far corner. At this point, I was bricking it, I'll be honest with you. I thought that we would be losing this game quite harshly.
How you feeling, man? I'm fine.
The next highlight though would be for us. After a failed attack from us, we managed to recover the ball and we played into Beto, who smashes it home in the near post, quite unexpectedly, and we're level. Surprisingly enough, the next highlight was also to us. We had some good counter-attacking play and we would find the passes and the space out to the right hand side. We would then play some good passes into the box, really finding a lot of space here despite being only 10 men, and Beto would blast it in to the net. Quite impressive, to say the least, for only 10 men on the pitch, but let's see if we can hold on. Amazingly, we'd get another chance just before the halftime break. Again, a good counter-attack by us would leave Beto in a one-on-one situation, and betting against the Portuguese man not to score would make you insane. Of course he does, completing his hat-trick, giving us a 3-1 lead going into the halftime break. Very, very impressive.
Look at us. Hey, look at us. Look at us. Huh? Who would have thought? Not me.
Dyche would then take quite the risk to sub off some of his starting players and give some of the bench players a chance. He thought these substitutions should be able to see the game out 3-1 or maybe score an extra one. Let's see if they can do it. Before the substitutions even got onto the pitch, Crystal Palace would have an attack and they'd score. It was quite unexpected and it will be 3-2, making Sean Dyche regret his decision to sub off some of his starters and hoping and praying that they would be able to hold on to a 3-2 lead. Sean Dyche has really instilled the never give up mentality into this Everton team, and right from kickoff we would create another chance. De La Feu finding Calvert-Lewin, who smashes it into the back of the net.
Oh my god, I love it. I fucking love it!
I didn't expect it, to be honest, but I'll take it, and a good finish by Dominic Calvert-Lewin. And you can see how much it means to the Englishman as he runs over to Sean Dyche to celebrate. It shows off their great relationship, even though Calvert-Lewin does start most games on the bench. Here we would have a corner from Crystal Palace after a chance I thought we defended quite well. The Crystal Palace players though would get the ball back after the corner and would try to launch another attack. I thought we defended this quite well as well, however the clearance led to a handscall to a free kick right on the edge of the box. Luckily it wasn't a penalty. Before the free kick is taken though, we get to take another look at this year's new feature of the referee cam. We can see the referee making sure the wall is at the proper distance and spraying his thing on the ground. Getting back into the gameplay though, we can see that Odsonne Edouard is the one to take this free kick, and he manages to find the corner quite nicely, to be fair, leaving us for the 3 and with our butts clenched. Crystal Palace would have the last chance of the match right at the end, with a good bit of passing play, finding Olise, who gets into our box. We are very nervous at this point, but luckily he only hits the side netting. Luckily that would be the last chance of the game, and it would end for the 3, a victory despite having picked up a red card. Sean Dyche is pretty happy.
Inshallah.
Wasting no time, we head pretty much straight into the next game, which is the second Merseyside derby of this season. My plan is to include every single Merseyside derby that I can, of course because of its significance to Everton and Liverpool. This is the lineup, not much has changed, so let's get straight into it.
My spidey senses tell me this is gonna get fucking tasty, baby!
The beginning of this match was quite end-to-end stuff, with any chance we'd have being snuffed out by Liverpool's defense, but any chance Liverpool would have being snuffed out by our defense. We tried launching counter-attacks, which is the same that Liverpool kept doing. It would only be when we'd start to take more time in the build-up that things would go good for us. We would string some passes together in our half and really showing off that we can be a possession-based team if we want to. Some good passes would lead us into Liverpool's half, and eventually Mykolenko launched an overlapping run. Mykolenko then crosses it into the box, finding the head of Abdoulaye Doucouré, who heads it home for our first, and yes, you heard me correctly, our first goal of today.
Oh, that's hot. That's hot.
The next chance would also be for Everton. This time we again hit them on the counter-attack, and Beto has a good chance on goal, but Alisson is more than equal to it. You can see the frustration on Alisson's face though, as his defense is letting him down, as well as the frustration on Dyche's face, as he thought that should have been 2-0. Liverpool would try their best to create chances and score a goal, but I'm very pleased to say that our defense did their jobs. Anytime that Liverpool came close to scoring, our defense was equal to it, and in the off chance that our defense wasn't equal to it, we had Pickford making good save after good save. You can see in this clip here, that's good marking, and eventually when the shot gets away, Pickford is more than equal to it as well. We also know Liverpool's quality, they often only need one chance to score a goal, which was the case in this resulting corner. Unfortunately for us, this was pretty much undefendable, and with some good passing play, Jota would be free in the box and it would be all square.
Oh shit. Here we go again.
It'd take quite a while for us to see our next highlight, all the way in the 57th minute when Liverpool were on the attack. Some good passing near our box, and that ends into a shot by McAllister. Fortunately for us though, Pickford managed to make another good save, and we keep it level. The next highlight would come off of a Liverpool attack, which we defended superbly, all things considered. It would lead to a counter-attack, the way Sean Dyche likes to play, and gets a absolutely fantastic ball from Patterson here to Beto, who finds himself one-on-one with Alisson and manages to finish this time. We are 2-1 up against Liverpool. Absolutely amazing.
Oh my god! Wow!
Now, you must be thinking to yourself, surely something must go wrong, right? Surely it can't stay this amazing. And you're right. If you're talking about Liverpool. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, because the next highlight we would have would be for us again. After a good bit of defending, we would once again go on the counter-attack and we would once again find the back of the net. We have a absolutely amazing bit of space here, which is exploited by Deulofeu, a good substitution from Dyche, who finds Beto, and he finishes the 3-1 win over Liverpool, which also means our first Merseyside derby win of the save. I couldn't be happier, and Sean Dyche couldn't either. He came to me and he actually said he was very happy with Musa and Deulofeu, as they both made a difference this game and helped us play a lot better than last time we saw Liverpool, as well as the defense being a lot more stable and more reliable with the introduction of Chris Smalling. Before we head into the third game of today's episode, let's take another look at the league table. As you can see, we're still in 8th, doing pretty well, just below Manchester United. And if we could stay in this sort of position, then I'd say we've more than completed our objectives of this season. We tried to stay up, but finishing in a top 10 position, maybe even in 8th position, would just be absolutely amazing. Into our third game of this episode, it's against Nottingham Forest. The lineup, as always, is pretty much the same, but I do like showing you it from time to time, so you can see who grew in ratings and who is not growing at all. Let's get into it. We would start off the game against Nottingham Forest really well. We would recover the ball in their half. They defend this well though, but unfortunately for them, they couldn't clear it enough and we would recover the ball yet again. This time, we would find the correct passes to get through one goal and score our first in the opening minutes of the game, which would also be Musa's first goal for the club in a tactical view game. Great stuff. The next highlight would also be for Everton, and you can just see how well Sean Dyche has coached these boys. Their passing is fluid and very, very professional. One touch passing here and there, not one pass goes astray, and it ends up in the back of the net. Just a massive world of difference compared to the first game of this season when we played against Arsenal and lost 6-1.
I don't know, it's so difficult not to look smug at this point.
Nottingham Forest would try and get back into the match though, trying to create some chances, and this one would eventually lead into a pretty nice goal for Nottingham Forest. But, little spoiler here, this is pretty much all they do for the rest of the match, as it would be all Everton continuing from here. Our next chance would see Beto get one-on-one after a nice through ball, however his first touch wasn't great. He managed to recover though and still scored. This game featured all sorts of amazing play by our team. Our midfield and attack especially were on it today. Good passes, good counter-attacking football, and Beto would be free again and he would slot it home yet again. Just absolutely smashing Nottingham Forest with no mercy, just the way we like to see it. Our next chance is another Everton chance, however this one gets blocked before it gets into the goal. It does lead to a hands ball though, which means a penalty for us. Let's see if Beto converts this time. He confidently takes a step behind the ball, readies himself for the shot, and manages to put it home to the right side of the goal. That's 5-1 just before the halftime break, and it makes you wonder, how many more can we score in the second half?
You don't have future here. You don't have future. You can never make it.
It would take quite a while into the second half for our next chance to appear, the 69th minute to be precise. However, some good play down the left with some short, accurate passing would give Danjuma some space in the box and he would curl it in quite beautifully. 6-1 for us on the day. Despite it being 6-1, our boys just kept going, even in the 79th minute. Another chance in the box would result in yet another goal. 7-1. Unbelievable, and I think that's Deulofeu's first goal since returning to the club. Great to see. It wouldn't just be Deulofeu's first goal back at Everton, it would also be his second after another great piece of attacking play would lead to yet another goal.
Hi again, it's me.
It's a good thing that we're at the end of the game, because I'm running out of things to say for every goal that we score, because we would score yet another one, making it 9-1. Yes, you heard me right, 9-1 against Nottingham Forest. Our attacking play was absolutely on point, our midfield was absolutely amazing, and this would be our biggest win thus far of the save.
The Matrix has attacked me.
Let's take a look at our lineup for the last game of today against Luton Town. The lineup, as always, unchanged. Let's see how the boys get on.
The garage?
Oh, yes, there is, and there's evidence of it.
Hello there.
Just like we did against Nottingham Forest, we started this game on the front foot early, and with some nice counter-attacking play, good passing, we would score a well-worked goal. I thought this was going to be another easy win, but it seems I was mistaken at the time, as Luton have clearly taken a page out of Sean Dyche's book and started a counter-attack of their own and managed to score from it with a very nice finish.
Kiss me through the phone.
He copied my whole fucking flow.
Oh,
word for word,
shit.
bar for bar.
Oh,
Don't act like I didn't.
Just before the halftime break, Everton would get another chance, another counter, you know how it is. Some good play down the left with Mikulenko and McNeil would get us a good chance. Some accurate passes into the box, into Danjuma, would mean we would get a 2-1 lead just before the break. Could we hold on to this lead though, was the question being asked by this Everton team. The answer would be no. You join us in the 90th minute with extra time, because I'll be honest, the entire second half, nothing happened. It was a midfield battle with no real chances being created. Unfortunately, some sloppy play by us led to a Luton goal, and that's how the match would end. 2-2, a draw. Unfortunate, but not the worst result. Now this is where we take a look at the end of the season statistics, as well as some other leagues we might be interested in. As we can see, Liverpool has been far clear the superior side this season, finishing first with 93 points. We finish in a very respectable 8th position. Very happy with that, and I think that gets us Conference League next year because of the cup winners. I'm not entirely sure though, we'll have to see next season, but there might be some European football in our future, which I'm very excited about, and I know Sean Dyche and the boys are as well. Going down are Sheffield, Burnley and Luton Town. On to some of the player stats now, and it's no surprise that Beto was our best performer this season, especially for a first season in the Premier League. These stats are quite good, 22 in 38 Premier League matches. I'm pretty happy with that. Danjuma did pretty well as well, with double digits in both the assists and goals categories. Jack Harrison did pretty well as well, and most of our team did their job. Here's a quick look at the top scorers list this season. Son and Salah both scored 29, with Haaland scoring 23, and Beto in 4th position with 22 goals this season. As for the top playmakers this season, that would be Diaz from Liverpool, and most clean sheets will go to Alisson, also from Liverpool. Taking a look at some other leagues around the world, for those interested, we start with the Championship where Norwich won and Leicester City got automatic promotion. Ligue 1 was unsurprisingly won by PSG. The Bundesliga was won by Bayern Munich, and the Serie A was won by Napoli, with Juventus finishing in a 7th position, quite surprising. The Liga Portuguesa was won by Porto, the La Liga was won by Real Madrid, and the Turkish Super League was won by Galatasaray.
I hate to say it, I hope I don't sound ridiculous. I don't know who this man is.
We then take a quick look at the domestic competitions as well as the European competitions. The FA Cup was won by Manchester City against Crystal Palace 2-1. The Champions League was won by Real Madrid 3-0 against Arsenal. Liverpool ended up winning the Europa League against Mourinho's Roma 3-0 as well. And the Conference League trophy went home with Aston Villa in a 2-1 victory against Fenerbahce. Now at the end of this video, I've decided to load up the new season and give you all a little preview of what's ahead in the next episode, as well as some transfer targets we want to go after. Here you can see the board objectives for the season. If you want to see them more in depth, just pause the video at the section that you want to see. As for transfer targets this season, I've had a good long sit down with Sean Dyche and we've discussed what type of player he wants to see. He would like a new fullback with Ashley Young's decline, and we've gotten a few of them. We've got Takehiro Tomiyasu of Arsenal, though if he wants to join is questionable. Neither do I think do we have the money for it, but he is an option. Same for Baku and Tino Livramento, with the last one probably being the most realistic option. We also still have Timothy Weah on our radar as well for that fullback spot. Aside from that, we have Taden Mengi from Luton Town because they relegated and he might be a good backup, though we do have a lot of centre backs already. Aside from that, we also have Tahit Chong, another one from Luton Town, who we might be able to pick up on a free, as well as Sander Berge. We also have Weston McKennie here, who has his contract running out this season, so we might be able to pick him up relatively cheap, and he is the main target Sean Dyche wants, to replace the aging Takure in that centre mid box-to-box spot. Aside from that, we also have Jack Harrison in here, as well as Danjuma to try and see if maybe we could convince them to join here, though I do think Danjuma might be too expensive. And lastly, we have Kostic for a left mid position, though again I do think he might be too expensive. We'll see what we can do though in the next episode. For now though, I think this will do. This has been Mintish. I've been very much enjoying this career mode. I hope you've been enjoying watching it and journeying alongside me. For now though, let's see what next episode holds. I hope you all have a good day, and goodbye.
This is my favorite one so far. Nice job, team.